My name is Teresa Mugadza, and I'm the country representative for the International Development Law Organization in Nairobi, Kenya. Outside of the Africa Climate Summit we just ended, I think for me the call to action really is for our world leaders to take note that as we talk of transitions, we must talk about a just transition, and we need to contextualize the transition in the context of Africa, looking at what is the role of women in the discussions. Is it a transition or is it transitions? Taking into account, of course, the challenges that women have faced on the continent in terms of accessing energy, and being alive to the fact that we still talk of a situation where about half of the women on the continent still don't have energy access. So I think for me, the call to action to our leaders is really to say, as we have these conversations, whether they be about climate financing, whether they be about carbon markets, to really say, are the voices of the women who are most climate affected being heard? Are we also hearing our youth, because they are the future? And as one young woman said in this convening that we just had, if we don't think about the future, then we will not have a youth. So I think it's really, really important that the voices that have been outside of this mainstream conversation, which has been about finance, which has been about policy, really takes into account those that have been excluded. And I think for me, the call to action for women is, as much as possible, let's find ways to engage with the conversation, to engage with the issues, because ultimately they affect us. And I think it's also important to take into account that the responses to climate change will require a collective action. It can't be one block, as it were, leading another one, but it's, I think, a journey that we need to walk together, because as President Ruto has said, it doesn't matter who polluted, we are no longer victims. We are all in this together to respond to a global problem.